What's going on, you guys? I wanted to come on here and address something that seems like it's been a big knock on Joe Judge, and that's the unproductive wide receiver core in New England. What kind of wide receiver core did he exactly have in New England this past year? You had a beat up Julian Edelman who basically played half the season with injuries. I mean, he had 2 to 3 injuries that I actually know of. The guy was he was beat up all season long. You had a guy in Jacoby Myers who was a rookie, who basically, he had no playing experience at all, and he was thrown into games and asked to make plays when he physically wasn't even ready to do so. You had a guy like N'Keal Harry, who was drafted in the first round, yes, but you talk about a big-bodied guy that struggled with separation, and he really, in his first year, just didn't live up to his first round, his draft status in the first round. And he was a good red zone target at times, but as far as making plays in the open field, he just couldn't get the separation quite yet in his first season, and he was extremely unproductive himself. And then you look at a guy like Phillip Dorsett, a guy that's been in the league for 6 or 7 years now. He's had his good games here and there, but I mean, the guy's never really been consistent. He's not a good all-around wide receiver that you can consistently count on. Never has been, never will be. That team lost its main weapon in Rob Gronkowski last year. He was the guy that opened up the field for that offense, and it hurt that offense tremendously this year, and it affected Brady. Not to mention, Brady was hurt basically the whole half the season. The report just came out that he had tennis elbow. I mean, they can say he has tennis elbow, but I think the man's just getting old and he's throwing ducks. I mean, that's basically what the guy's doing nowadays. He's 43 years old? Like, he needs to just hang it up. But I keep on hearing all these media outlets and other fans talk about how he had an unproductive, wide receiver core, and that was one of the worst units on the team. Like, well, he really didn't have much to work with from the start, so how can you even knock the guy? New England's never really had great wide receivers. Not that they've actually drafted themselves. It's always a guy that they bring in from the outside. I mean, you look at Welker. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they drafted Julian Edelman. You look at Josh Gordon, even though he didn't really amount to much. Randy Moss, Troy Brown, I can't really remember if he was drafted by them or he was brought in as a free agent. Brandon LaFell, he spent some time there as a wide receiver. But, I mean, these guys that New England has always inserted into their offense, I mean, they've always been guys from the outside. It's not guys that have been necessarily drafted by that team. So, I mean, I think it's just unfair to really knock Judge on that wide receiver core, because he really just didn't have much to work with, and it's not right. So, I mean, I'll defend him when it comes to that. So, that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you later. See you.